Is eating just one meal a day, the famous OMAD diet, the ultimate hack for your metabolism? Or is there a point where it stops working in your favor? If you've been doing OMAD to burn fat, stabilize your blood sugar, or even lower your cancer risk, you've probably seen some impressive benefits, especially in the beginning. OMAD can be a really powerful tool for healing your metabolic health and shedding a few extra pounds. But what if you hit a plateau? Or you start feeling low on energy? Or you're not getting the same results you were initially? You may need a break from it. The thing is, while OMAD can be incredibly effective short-term, what your body needs can shift over time, especially if you've been through harsh cancer treatment or you're trying to restore your long-term metabolic health. So in today's video, I'm going to go over the amazing short-term benefits of OMAD, what actually happens when you do it for too long, and how to know if it's time to tweak your approach without giving up all the progress you've already made. OMAD's become really popular lately for a reason. It can give you some amazing health benefits. For starters, it makes intermittent fasting simple. Instead of counting calories or worrying about 3 meals a day, you're just eating once. So it's easier to stay in a calorie deficit if you're trying to lose weight. And that extended fasting window of say 20 to 22 hours a day gives your body a significant amount of time to lower insulin levels, which improves insulin sensitivity and your blood sugar. That's a big deal for your metabolic health and cancer prevention. And during these longer fasts every day, your body does reach an enhanced state of autophagy, which is your built-in cellular cleanup process. It helps get rid of damaged cells like precancerous cells before they can turn into cancer. And for people who struggled with constant cravings or snacking out of boredom, OMAD can really help break that habit of grazing all day long, giving your digestive system and your appetite hormones a much-needed break. So if OMAD is used occasionally and strategically, it can be amazing. But your body is smart. It's hardwired for survival. It doesn't care that you're trying to slim down or hack your metabolism. It's just trying to keep you alive. So if you don't eat for a long period of time or feed your stomach when it starts growling, your body reads that as famine. And it doesn't matter whether your one meal a day is 800 or 1500 calories. Your body assumes that's not enough fuel, so let's adapt to conserve energy. And conserving energy means your thyroid output drops, and that alone slows your metabolism. But your reproductive hormones also decline, like progesterone or testosterone, because reproduction isn't a priority when your body thinks it's in a crisis. And your stress hormones like cortisol actually go up, even if you don't realize it. This is all called metabolic adaptation. It doesn't happen overnight, but if you're in a calorie deficit for too long, your efforts to stay healthy may be backfiring on you. Now, a lot of people do OMAD to lose weight, and it can certainly make the scale go down. But the question is, what are you losing? When you restrict calories, you're not just burning fat. Your body's also breaking down muscle for energy. And that's a big problem. You don't just need your muscles for strength. They help to regulate your blood sugar, improve insulin sensitivity, and burn more calories when you're just sitting around. So when you lose muscle, your whole system slows down. And let's be real, can you actually get enough protein in one meal a day to not lose any muscle mass? Most people can't. For optimal metabolic health, you need to eat about 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight every day. So for a 150-pound adult, that's around 150 grams of protein a day. Cramming that into one meal isn't just uncomfortable, your body can only use so much protein at a time. If you're eating more calories than your body can use at once, that extra energy can eventually be stored as fat. And then there's your hormones. This is where things get really interesting and concerning. When you do OMAD long-term, it changes your hormonal landscape, and not in a good way. First, there's your thyroid, the main regulator of your metabolism. Studies have shown that prolonged calorie restriction lowers your level of T3, which is your active thyroid hormone, and it increases the reverse T3, which essentially puts the brakes on your metabolism. In other words, your metabolism slows down on purpose when you're in survival mode. And over time, this means your resting metabolic rate drops significantly. There have been multiple studies on this, including the famous Minnesota starvation experiment, which show that your metabolic rate can drop by up to 30% over time. And then there's cortisol, your main stress hormone. As I just mentioned, when you're in a low-calorie state for too long, your cortisol levels can go up. Now, cortisol isn't all bad. You need it for energy and to stay alert. But if your levels are chronically high, it can promote fat storage around your organs. And this is called visceral fat, which is the most dangerous kind of fat. It creates inflammation in your body and raises your cancer risk. It has nearly twice as many cortisol receptors than subcutaneous fat, which is the fat under your skin, making it a magnet for stress-related fat storage. And let's not forget leptin, the I'm full hormone. Leptin's job is to simply tell your brain, I'm full now, stop eating. So when you chronically undereat, your leptin levels drop, so that signal to your brain doesn't get through. And your brain thinks, we're still hungry, keep eating. That's why your cravings can go up, and your body goes into energy conservation mode, holding on to fat instead of burning it. So if you're focused on preventing cancer or keeping it from coming back, this type of hormonal environment is the last thing you want. Chronic inflammation, unstable blood sugar levels, and hormone imbalances can all create an environment in your body that makes cancer more likely to grow rather than preventing it. So is OMAD actually bad? No, not at all. It's all about how you do it. If you do it occasionally, it's great for metabolic health and cancer prevention. But OMAD only shines when it's done strategically, not every day. So what's a better approach than doing OMAD every day long term? Well, your metabolism loves flexibility. Think of it as a muscle. If you do the same workout every day, you'll stop getting results. Your metabolism works the same way. So this is where metabolic flexibility comes in. Instead of doing daily OMAD, cycle your fasting windows. For example, most days do a 16 to 8 fasting method, which means fasting for 16 hours and having an 8-hour eating window. And then a few times a week, push that to 18-hour fasts and a 6-hour eating window. And then once in a while, try a 20 to 24-hour fast to really trigger autophagy and give your digestive system a longer break. So you can still use OMAD occasionally to get the short-term benefits without the long-term metabolic slowdown. Oh, and don't forget to throw in a weekly feast day. On this day, you eat 3 solid meals to tell your body it's safe, it doesn't need to go into survival mode, and it doesn't need to store fat. I know that might sound counterintuitive, but it's crucial for keeping your metabolism healthy. And on that feast day, make sure your 3 balanced meals have plenty of protein and enough calories to tell your body we're not starving. When you cycle your fasting windows like this, you keep your body guessing in the best possible way. You're not constantly in the starvation mode that comes with daily OMAD, so you develop a better metabolic environment. And when you do fast, you'll have an easier time promoting healing and balancing your hormones and lowering your cancer risk. Now, cycling your fasting windows is only really one part of the equation. Every single meal you do have should include a really good source of protein. Protein is just so important for everything. It helps to calm your hunger hormones, it keeps your blood sugar stable, and it supports your immune system, which is your body's main defense against cancer. And if you can combine that high protein diet with a bit of strength training, you can actually help to preserve your muscle mass while you're fasting or while you're doing OMAD. And you really want to keep that muscle you have because it also helps to lower inflammation and it helps you to burn more calories when you're just sitting on the couch watching TV. Very important for keeping your metabolism strong. And if you are trying to lose weight, let's talk about calories for a second. I know a lot of people just keep trying to cut calories, but your metabolism needs fuel. If you're constantly under eating, your body will eventually adapt by slowing everything down, which is obviously the opposite of what you want. So cycling between lower calorie days and higher calorie days keeps your metabolism responsive and reassures your body that it's okay to keep your metabolism up. At the end of the day, if your main goal is to heal your metabolism and create an environment that is less friendly to cancer cells, long-term daily OMAD probably isn't the answer. By mixing up your fasting windows and adding in those feast days and eating enough protein to maintain your muscle, this is what will help to give you the benefits of fasting without the metabolic crash. And that is how you create real, long-lasting metabolic health. And as we age, our bodies respond differently to protein and fasting. So check out this video next because I go over some really important changes that anyone over 40 could be making.